Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the headphone jack in the Motorola Luge XT907. If you're interested where I got this phone or where I got the parts to fix it, I'll include a link in the video description for that, and also where I got the tools to work on this, and anything that might be helpful to you I'll put in the video description. So next what we will need to do is, this is the same as the Droid Razr M as well. This Motorola Luge is the same as the Droid Razr M, and it's the XT907 as I said before, but so they're pretty much identical as far as repairs go. So I already removed these screws, but there's 3 screws on this side, on each side here. Wanted to show you, and it takes a Torx T5, sometimes a T4 if the T5 is a little bit tight. But and then what we're going to need to do is remove this front here. It's got adhesive on it, pretty strong adhesive, so we're going to hit it with just a little bit of heat. And then also under this Motorola logo on the front here, we're going to hit that with a little bit of heat as well and try prying it. So now I just use a regular hair dryer like this. Is all I have, just a cheap little hair dryer. And so I just hit it for a few seconds here on high, and didn't want to show it because it's noisy. And then so I just take like a guitar pick type thing and slide it under here on the front. You can see it's starting to crack there a little bit. And just go kind of carefully and wiggle it, and then once you get your fingernail under it, you can kind of just work it up. It's got kind of strong adhesive, but just make sure that it doesn't break or anything, and just slide it up kind of like that. Now you can see it has adhesive on it, but like some of this adhesive came off on this part and some of it stayed. Probably what I'll do is end up pulling this off and putting it on here. So now the next part, if you take your heat gun and apply a little bit of heat on here, I would say again 5 to 10 seconds at the most. You don't want to do too much at a time. And then what works really well is to take a little razor. I don't have one to show right here, but to take a little razor or something really sharp and get under here. Make sure not to scratch the top of this. What I ended up having to do is, all I had was a tweezers that was fine enough. So I started under this corner right here, and I got it a little bit loose right now, so it comes off a little harder than what I'm showing right here because I got it loose, but I just wanted to show you what you have to do. And this part comes right off. You have to be careful not to bend this or anything, so you have to be able to put this back when you're all done. And then there's 2 screws under here, so those 2 have to come out and these 3 have to come out. So that will be the next step. So just for a quick overview, I wanted to go over that there's 3 screws on this side, 3 screws on this side, and there's 2 screws on the top here, and 3 screws on the bottom here, and they're all different size. Well, the ones on the sides are the same size, and then the ones on the top and the bottom are different, so you want to make sure to keep those separate. So next you will want to make sure, I should have mentioned this even sooner, but you want to make sure that there's no memory cards or SIM cards in the phone here. If there are, you will want to remove those. And then what you'll need to do is, you can use a pry tool like this, or perhaps even this one here, the guitar pick, and you will want to start somewheres. I would say right here in the middle is a good spot, and you want to start separating this and just kind of work your way around. See how it's starting to separate? No problem. And now there's some little clips down here that you'll want to give extra attention to, down here at the bottom. So there's a little plastic clip right here and on this side that you'll want to watch. It comes apart a little bit hard right there, but just be careful. And then you want to, now just watch when you're separating this that you have like a pry tool, something like that. I prefer a plastic one so it doesn't do any damage to any connectors. And you just want to reach in there and disconnect that connector, and then you got it apart. To change the front camera, it's easier if you take the rear camera out first because of a little tab. So all you need to do is pry up under this connector right here for the rear camera, and the rear camera will come right out. And then you'll need to pry this connector right here. And then it's easier if you start right in this corner here, just carefully. And then there's the reason I removed the rear camera is there's a little clip in here that's easier in a way if you just tip this up, kind of go this way with it, and then that comes right out. Then to get to the headphone jack, once the rear camera and the front camera are out, what you need to do is have something fine point like this tweezers again, and right in front here you can go and just pry gently up under there. It has a little adhesive under it. It comes right out just like that. So to reinstall, you just set it back down in there, make sure it's pushed down properly, make sure this ring is in, and then you can reinstall the front camera. Make sure that's pushed down in and it clips on this side as well. Reconnect the connector. Then just put the rear camera back in. Reconnect that connector. And there you got it. Okay, so this next part's a little hard to show, but to reassemble the front screen, what you need to do is just set it here close by, and you can see this connector here, and you have to reconnect this connector right here. So it's a little bit tricky, but it's not too bad. You just have to line it up properly and then press it down. And then, so next what we will need to do is to begin reassembly. I'll just watch all the way around, make sure everything's lining up properly. I would recommend getting these clips at the bottom here, these clips popped in first. And then just make sure all the way around that everything is in properly. And then put your 3 screws back in the bottom here, the 2 on the top, and then put the 3 on each side, and you can make sure that this is squeezed together before you tighten your screws for the final time. Just make sure that that crack is nice and tight, and there you go. So next, after you have all your screws on the side, both sides, and then the 2 on the top and the 3 on the bottom, so next what you'll want to do is put this thing in the top here, the Motorola piece where it says Motorola, and put it up here for the earpiece speaker. Set it down nicely, and then next you'll want to take this part here. Now earlier I had mentioned about the adhesive. I ended up putting it on this part, and you'll want to just take and set that right on there. Make sure it clicks in nicely. And I think what I would do, just so it for sure sets up nicely, is give it just a little bit of heat here and there, and you're good to go. Then next, remember to put your SIM card back in, your memory card, if you have any of those. And then last but not least, try to power the phone up, make sure that it's going to work, and you're good to go. Thanks for watching.